Hello. Today we're going to be taking a look at what I consider to be maybe the second most highly acclaimed film of 2019, behind Parasite of course. Ugh. And that of course would be Rian Johnson's mystery flick, Knives Out. This movie has such actors like Daniel Craig, Christopher Plummer, Toni Collette, Chris Evans, and Jamie Lee Curtis, just to name a few. And I have to say, at first, I was really impressed with this cast. I thought that the plot was intriguing as well in this movie. I thought that the cast was mostly fantastic, as I've already said, and I loved the set design. I loved the way the characters were introduced in kind of like an interrogation format. I thought the soundtrack was phenomenal, and I really loved the locations, and some of these exterior shots were just amazing. And overall, I was super impressed with this movie. I'm going to be looking at those points that I just made in further detail because it's really worth talking about. And again, at first, I was like, holy shit, this is so good. I totally see the hype. So let's jump into it. Knives Out is 2 hours and 10 minutes long, I believe, something like that. It's a bit over 2 hours. And it's about an author named Harlan Thrombey who is found dead just after his 85th birthday, and it surrounds a detective who must interview members of Harlan's eccentric family to try and find out who killed him. So it has the setup of a classic whodunit kind of story, and for the first 30 minutes, that's what it truly is. A very strong plot that gave off a great impression immediately. The cast of this movie is mostly incredible. You have people like Toni Collette, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Chris Evans and Christopher Plummer running around and playing some real eccentrics that are so much fun and are really interesting to watch. The amount of personality that these characters have is great, and it makes for a very alive feeling viewing experience. The visuals in this movie were just something else. You have this awesome fucking house with some awesome setups with the donut-shaped knives, the hidden window, and the sheer wackiness of the layout will immediately have you intrigued. I also love the exterior shots of this house too, as it really has an obscure look to it, and it kind of just serves as a metaphor for how weird and obscure the family is themselves. The soundtrack to this movie is just, oh, it's so good. It has this really slow and melancholic vibe that plays through with just enough brightness injected into it to stop it from feeling too miserable. All of these details made for a fucking incredible first impression, and I thought that this was going to be one of the best movies of 2019. Heck, maybe even one of the best movies of the entire decade, maybe the best movie of the entire decade. But holy shit, did this movie get stupid. And I mean, it got really fucking stupid. After the first half an hour, we are introduced to this really boring and lifeless character, and she literally cannot lie. If she lies, she just throws up on the spot. At first I was like, alright, as long as the movie doesn't rely on this retarded plot device to move the plot forward, I'm gonna be okay with it. But no, it did. This boring nothing character named, what's their fucking name? Marta becomes the central interest of this movie, and everything else that I love so much about this movie, it just went straight out the window. To get the truth out of what happened, the detectives end up just using her lie detector to get closer and closer to the truth. How much more lazy could you get for a murder mystery movie? This movie doesn't even classify as a satisfying whodunit film. This movie spends its last 100 minutes focusing on this terribly out of place character, and honestly, after spending 5 minutes with her, I just lost interest in this movie. It was just dog shit, and I hated pretty much every minute of it. And please, for the love of God, do not get me started on Daniel Craig's stupid fucking accent. I understand that it's supposed to be over the top, but good lord did it get super annoying after about 5 minutes. He was just terrible in this movie. And what made me more angry is that this movie focused on his character and Marta. The two worst characters in the movie ended up being the central focus, and it was atrocious. Knives Out was originally a promising movie, but it became a slow, boring, lazy, and I'll reiterate that word, lazy mess of a film. Instead of creating a logical way of progressing the plot, it just creates a simple, stupid, I can't even. It just creates the dumbest loophole I think I've ever seen in a film. And Everyone loves it. Knives Out gets a 50% from me. Now that 50 only comes from how good the first half an hour of this movie is. The last 100 minutes can go fuck themselves so hard up the ass that it comes right out of their mouth and goes up, fucking jack up the beanstalk.